What is good, YouTube? It's the Miami Football Fanatic here again. Happy to have you guys back. And today we got some major Dolphins news, some breaking news. Josh Sitton, starting left guard for the Dolphins, has torn his rotator cuff and will be out for the remainder of the season. We just can't seem to catch a break. Sitton tore the rotator cuff in the second half of Sunday's 27-20 victory over the Titans, and he requires surgery to fix the tear, according to a league source. The Dolphins replaced Sitton in the starting lineup with Ted Larson, who took almost all of the practice work at left guard throughout training camp when Sitton was held out to rest, a veteran day off, with Sitton being 32 years old. Larson will start on Sunday against the New York Jets. Sitton, 32, previously had issues with his right shoulder. A source said this injury was on the opposite side, so his left shoulder. So, just crazy bad luck. It would have been fair if, it was the shoulder he had an issue with. But, of course, in true Dolphins fashion, and one of our major, offensive line signings, a veteran that was supposed to come in and really help has been injured. A guy who hasn't missed a start since his Packers since forever. The guy's barely been injured, and as soon as he comes to the Dolphins, bang, he gets injured. We had the same thing with Brandon Albert. Brandon Albert was very durable throughout his career. Barely had any issues. Then I think it was 12 games into his Dolphins career. Bang, torn ACL. We just can't catch a break with these offensive linemen that we bring in to solidify the line. Neither the Dolphins nor Sitton are absolutely certain when the injury happened. It seemed the player Sitton felt a strain on one play, continued playing, and later took a hit which may have completed the tearing of the rotator cuff. And the most frustrating thing in all this was that he was hurt on special teams, so it wasn't an offensive snap. It was on special teams, so just another kick in the butt for us. When Sitton learned of his diagnosis, he asked about playing anyway. Doctors told Sitton that he could try, but it would expose him to further damage that would require surgery, which could have been career-threatening if he didn't get surgery now and continue to play with the rotator cuff being torn. So the decision was made to shut down Sitton. He'll go on injured reserve. This is just a serious blow for the team, a huge blow for the team, a huge blow for the offense, a huge blow for the offensive line. Sitton not only was perhaps the Dolphins' best run blocker, but has taken on something of a mentor role with left tackle Laremy Tunsil. The two men had forged a quick bond and were working well together. You could really see it on the field against Tennessee. That's the left side of the line and the right side, for good measure. But Sitton and Tunsil looked to be working really well. Not only in their blocking combinations, but in addressing issues such as preparation and practice habits that seemed to affect Tunsil early last season. Daniel Kilgore said that Josh is a great leader. He said of his teammate before he knew how bad his injury was on Wednesday. Obviously, he's been around a lot of winning football. He's a great player. He's been an all-pro. His knowledge of this game really helps out. Having Sitton here is huge. Any locker room would be happy to have a veteran guy like Josh Sitton, and we're lucky to have him, Daniel Kilgore said. The Dolphins actually feel lucky that while many NFL teams are scrambling for offensive line help, we have an experienced backup in Larson. He started 73 of the 111 games he's played, including 8 last season for us. Ted Larson, he was pretty solid for us last season, but he's no Josh Sitton in terms of talent. You could just really see Sitton was just great for us during the preseason when he played and against the Titans. It should also be noted that other teams needing offensive line help contacted the Dolphins during the preseason to see about trading for Larson. So obviously, he's a hot commodity. A lot of teams wanted Larson in their offensive line room to have a battle-tested guard, but luckily we've held on to him. The fact remains, however, that this Sunday's opponent, the New York Jets, were expected to be a difficult matchup for the Miami offensive line, even with Sitton in a lineup. And now that he's out, that becomes an even greater concern. So, Larson's got to be on his A game. Kilgore, Davis, they really got to contain pressure through the middle of that line. The Does it change things? Absolutely. Offensive coordinator Dale Loggins said Wednesday, when asked of the possibility of not having Sitton for the rest of the season or for an extended amount of time. If you didn't have someone at any position, you look to say, how is this matchup going to affect us in the game? So, obviously taking a step down in talent with Larson, it's going to affect the game in a different way. And, it's not going to affect it in a positive way, probably. And it will be that way for the remainder of the season. So just a massive blow for the team, for that offensive line. He was just a great veteran leader in the offensive lineman room and for the offense and the whole locker room as a whole. He was awesome for Larry Tunsil. Larry Tunsil had a great confidence about him this training camp and the first game of the season. And you could just really see that chemistry out there in the field, and just a massive blow for us. But all we can do is move on. I really liked what I saw from the team. Against the Titans, we looked like a cohesive unit on both sides of the ball. We had our issues here and there, mostly on defense, but we just got to come together. I'm glad that there's a guy like Ted Larson stepping in for Josh Sitton. Ted Larson, he's a pretty solid veteran, a guy that has some talent, but hopefully he can hold down the fort, and who knows, we might even bring in some help. We might sign a veteran, or trade for a player, sign a player off someone's practice squad, or someone who might have been released during the week. But just gotta keep it posted, keep seeing what kind of transactions the Dolphins are gonna do. But hopefully they bring in some help, because losing Josh Sitton is gonna be a massive blow. But all we can do is move on and play our best football. Alrighty, guys, as always, fins up, baby. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to leave your comments for the vid. And as always, see you next time.